Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo,
Can you hear me, Brad?
yeah, I can hear you.
What was that noise? That sounded like a toilet. That's
I
weird.
don't know.
That is a
I thought there
weird
was gonna be
freaking
more than
sound.
that, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's just insane. Anyway, welcome everybody to another episode of Latin Explaining. And today we have a radical Latino joining us in the discussion. So I'll say
What's up,
hi.
guys? What up? What's going on?
Hey,
How
hey,
you guys
hey.
doing?
Well, I hope everybody's doing fine. Uh, I'm back after being what 3 years away. This is the first stream, so we're gonna struggle stream for a minute, which is what I was telling Brad. Behind scenes, we're gonna struggle. Well, we already started. We're gonna struggle stream for a minute. Welcome
Yeah,
everybody that's already here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share your comments with us. We're going to touch on a topic that has been circulating around media. In case you've been living under a rock, the United States is hosting the World Cup, and there's everybody loves every team except Argentina, and we got to talk about it because why not? If there's somebody that loves to talk shit, it's me. So
we
why
know
not? Let's talk
this.
about this. If there's somebody that's gonna piss people off, it's me, of course. So I welcome the haters. Whoever wants to also share their thoughts, just leave it in the comments. I'll read all of them. Now, to start, hey Jose, thank you for joining the show. I hope you
Yo,
enjoy what
yo.
we have for you today. Now, um, before we get like deep into it, I don't know how many people know this, but I don't know. I'll announce it later. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. The hate on Argentina. It, as the title says, it goes beyond football. Of course. Wow, surprise. A lot of people have made comments, and I don't know if you're aware of this hate, Rod. Are you rooting for Argentina? Like, what is the hey Morena? What's up? What team are you rooting for, Morena? What team are you rooting for, Rad?
I was rooting for Ecuador, but they lost. So I'm not. I'm not rooting for.
Are
I'm
you
not rooting really
did you
for.
really expect Ecuador to make it
I
to like
listen. I listen. I understand. It was probably a minimal chance. But they got swept, but then they won one, and then they got swept again. Um,
the
and then I
La
think
Verdadera Ria?
they lost again. They lost against Mexico, and it really hurt that two people who
Good.
are getting confused for Mexicans and Ecuadorians that look pretty much the same are getting getting demolished.
Dude.
Whatever it is, what it is. The point is that I was rooting for Ecuador, but since they're gone now, I'm rooting for any Latino country to win, pretty much. I think was
So
it France? I think they're pretty good. I think, and Brazil is nice. Mexico is nice
Brazil
too.
got
So
eliminated. Brazil got eliminated.
I know, but I'm saying like they were really nice though. Like I think they beat Haiti. So uh, they're Brazil was good. I think France is actually pretty good. Norway is pretty good. I think USA. I don't know, but
What
Argentina's
do you
pretty
mean
good
you
too.
don't know? USA just
USA.
literally entered the same. It went further than Ecuador. Like,
Yeah, they did, but still,
what's
it's
with the
like
hate of USA?
no, no, it's not the hate on USA. It's just the hate on their players. Like they got really strong players, but the defense is pretty. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
wonky. It's wonky.
Yeah, so
Dude,
that's my
Reem.
thing. You know.
Okay, so look, I want to share a discussion with you. I know that you might not be aware of what's cooking behind Argentina and the hate, but your girl
Mhm.
went all the way down the rabbit hole because you guys know I love to just investigate things and full. And it goes way beyond football. It's not about football at all. Surprise,
Well,
surprise.
let me just say that certain things that have heard. So
What the
apparently,
hell?
I've heard that I think some of this. Hold on, let me just backtrack. So some of the fans, especially in the Argentina side of the things, have been somewhat scrutinized and also, labeled as racist because of some of the monkey noises that are being heard to the black players from the Argentinian fans. Also, I believe there was, I think, an image of somebody dressed up as a banana or something like that. Um, and that's making the rounds on social media, and that's the reason why social media is pretty much painting all of Argentina as like racist or whatever the case is. But it doesn't go. It doesn't just go to Argentina. Like I'm seeing all the fans from other nationalities doing somewhat the same thing. I think a very like famous example was I Show Speed being told to go back to the zoo or something like that. So
Yeah.
uh, I think that's the reason, or as to why this backlash for Argentina is coming about. But apparently, you went down the rabbit hole and you figured something out. So what happened?
Well, at first, I want to start by saying that I'm not saying under any circumstance that there's no racism in Argentina. Like we know, and it's surprising that we have to see this in 2026. Like we know that every country in North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbean was an indigenous country that was colonized by Europeans, brought African slaves to squeeze free labor out of them, and each country got their own little revolution and freedom and emancipation and so on and so on. Like we know that this is a universal history of all of our countries, right? Like this is there's no confusion on that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are in the Americas, you know that this is your history with some slight variations of it, right? So with that being said, I took to social media because I wanted to figure out, wait, like what if we got it all wrong? What if actual black voices in Argentina have it better than us, and have more information than the information that we have? And I decided to look into what they're saying. So I'm gonna go. I went to Instagram and I fished out some stuff, and I found Afro
Uh,
Argentinians talking about it. So let's hear what they had to say.
okay.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Denise, there's no sound coming from it.
Oh, sorry about this. Sorry about this, guys. Again, it's my first stream in years, so you guys know I'm still streaming.
Yeah, you're streaming your screen. I think once you go to
Okay.
hold on, hold on. Say when you go to share screen, just actually
Okay.
click
Tap to
on
share audio.
yeah. Yeah, on the Chrome tab, just click on what tab that's in. So
Oh. Well, it doesn't necessarily show.
it will
Hold
show
on. Let me see.
because it's on the tab. Go to share screen and then
Okay. Share
uh
screen.
are you on
Oh,
Chrome?
got it. Got it. Yeah. I'm on
Yeah,
Chrome.
okay.
There we go.
There you go.
Struggle streaming, guys. Struggle
Yeah.
streaming. Okay. Let's see.
So they became more
Let's start it
integrated.
from scratch because I want you guys to
Yeah,
hear the whole
we can hear it. We can hear it now.
Now got rid of black population. Are you
time.
getting that from a book or Twitter? During Argentina's War of Independence, thousands of black men fought in the army.
What the heck?
and they were promised their freedom in exchange
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, we can hear it, but it's also freezing. Did you send it to me?
of military service. Then came
Hold on, let's start it again.
Argentina got rid of its black population.
I don't know why it's not.
Just send it
I
to
don't know
me
why
and
it's
then I'll
not
play it.
playing. Okay, let me send it to you. Now I forgot how to send it. That's crazy. Forward. In the meantime, I just want to say, like, to the people that are like getting their history from social media, like that's out of whack. I would have never. I thought that with COVID we got rid of that, but apparently not. Apparently not. Okay, did you receive them back?
Yeah, I received it.
Yes, okay. No, Jose, it's not the internet. We pay good internet here. I'm pretty sure it's the resolution.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm waiting on you.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Hold on, hold on,
you
hold on,
gotta.
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
There we go.
Go ahead.
All right.
its black population. Are you getting that from a book or Twitter? During Argentina's War of Independence, thousands of black men fought in the army, and they were promised their freedom in exchange of military service. Then came decades of civil wars, followed by the War of the Triple Alliance, which claimed the lives of men of fighting age. On top of that, epidemics like the yellow fever and cholera devastated the poorest neighborhoods where many Afro Argentines lived because of unequal living conditions. In 1813, Argentina passed the Freedom of Wombs Law, meaning that children that were born to enslaved women were legally free. By 1853, Argentina officially abolished slavery, meaning that anyone who came to the country as an enslaved person was legally free. So, did black Argentines disappear? No, that's a lie. Over the time, Afro Argentines increasingly married people from different backgrounds. They were no longer considered as a different racial category, so they became more integrated to society. Also, massive European immigration changed the country's overall demographics, reducing the percentage of Afro descendants in Argentina, not eliminating them. Today, according to Argentina's 22 national census, more than 300,000 Argentines identify as Afro descendants, meaning that a lot of people is black and they don't even know. Please let's stop comparing how black people look like in the US versus Argentina, because let's remember that the US had like 100 years more of segregation when they where they had to use different bathrooms, different school, different public transportation, and in Argentina that never existed. So it was easier for black people to integrate into society, and that's why everyone just got mixed. Argentina got rid of its black population. Are you
Okay.
getting that from a book?
So now that was the first one. Now there's
That
a second.
makes a lot. That makes a lot more sense. That
Ooh,
makes a
I'm telling
lot.
you.
That makes a lot more sense
That's
because
I'm telling you.
just going based on that. I'm not gonna say long history. It's condensed pretty much, but it makes sense. You know, when you're comparing certain people's vision from the US to other places, and it doesn't compare. You know what I'm saying? Because
No.
let's be honest, majority of Americans do view outside of America in an American lens, you know, and they think some of the things that happen here also occurred somewhere else when that isn't the case. And I'm glad that she somewhat broke it down.
Yeah, there's I don't know if you can play the second video. That is up a lady that's based in Argentina, and she's also Afro-Argentinian, or what will be considered Afro-Argentinian. I also sent you, and I'll make a comment after that. But I first want you guys to hear from them than from me, because of course I'm not Argentinian. I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I got you. Wait. Let me.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. Play it.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Here we goes. Ah.
Football players.
Wait. My bad.
Black Argentine football players. You've probably heard this online, but did you stop to ask why? Let's address the elephant in the room. I am Julia Cohen Ribeiro, Afro-Argentine activist and Afro-tourism director of
She's an activist. I don't like her already. I'm just playing. No. All right.
Ah.
Argentina has a long history of racism like many other countries in the Americas. Our elites promoted whiteness as part of the national identity. And although this has changed a lot in the last years, Afro-Argentine communities have been systematically erased from history books and public memory. Argentina has over 47 million people. According to the national census, only a small percentage identify as Afro-descendants. Unlike other countries that had legal racial segregation, Argentina did not have that. Interracial marriage and mixing occurred extensively over generations. And that makes our Afro-descendant population not fit the image that a lot of people expect. For example, most Afro-Argentines may look a lot more like Zendaya. The terms Afro-Argentine and Afro-descendant are very important for our identity in our territory because our identity is not always defined by skin color. Let's go back to the football players. Take Diego Maradona, for example, one of the biggest football players of all time. He acknowledged his Guarani indigenous roots, and historians have traced his genealogy and found out that he is actually descendant of an enslaved black man. Or for example, another player with indigenous roots but blue eyes like Leandro Paredes. Argentinian diversity may not look like many people expect. As the country's only intersectional travel company running Black History tours led by Afro-Argentine guides, we want to invite content creators creating viral content about Argentina to open their platforms to Afro-Argentine activists so they can speak for themselves. If you want to understand Black history in Argentina, talk to Afro-Argentines. Local voices should always come before viral narrative. Let's take advantage of this discussion and uplift and visibilize Afro-Argentine history and culture. That's the conversation worth sharing. There are no
Wow.
So back to
Wow.
that was a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack there,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna try to go.
I'm gonna save these. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting.
It is. It is.
That's
And
really
there's a lot to
interesting.
unpack.
Wow.
There's a lot to unpack because we got to go back to back into Argentina's history and understanding the country. I think like a lot of people get confused based on that.
Okay.
When we go back to colonial times, when Spain ruled over the Americas because of their Inquisition,
our
right?
ancestors. No, I'm just like no.
Are their roots the most important root?
Exactly.
When the most important hierarchy root ruled over these lands, they needed workers for plantations, right? We know there was sugar cane, there was cotton, there was corn, there was several different plantations that needed to be manned. So if you look at Argentina, Argentina is not a plantation-rich country. They're basically like their profit or what they used to sell till this day, they are rich in that, was cattle. You don't need a large amount of slaves. As a matter of fact, the country that received uh, the most slaves was Brazil. So if you look at like even the United States with all the land that they have and all the plantations, they only got 300,000 slaves. Brazil got 4 million. Mexico 200,000. Ecuador, I think it got like 20,000, stuff like that. Argentina, when you look in contrast to like them, they got the same amount of slaves that Puerto Rico got in a larger country. So they only
Yeah.
got around 60%, 60,000, I'm sorry, 60,000 slaves. Now imagine you dropped 60,000 people in a country that is like huge, right? With already an established indigenous and Spaniard population, because we have to take into consideration that according to history, this is not me, right, making this up. This is actual history according to um, Ecuadorian, Ecuadorian, according to Argentinian
Argentinian.
history.
Yeah.
Uh, in 1502 is when they first came, the
Yeah.
Europeans, but then the British actually came also in 1806. So they've had significant waves of Europeans. And as if that isn't enough, I want people to understand and consider the fact that Spain expatriated 300,000 Jews before World War II, before all of this. Okay, right when Spain was doing their colonial shit, they literally expelled 300,000 Jews. And
Mhm.
where did they dump them? Has anybody asked themselves where did they go?
The trash.
Argentina. Argentina, it was
Oh,
Spain's
oh,
trash
okay,
can.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
they threw them over there. So imagine you have 60,000 black people, and you
Mhm.
just brought in now, after having indigenous people that are being decimated and a lot of Europeans flooding in, you now throw more white people, which are Jewish people, 300,000 of them. That's before even the country was emancipated from Spain. We're talking colonial times now, okay? So, as if that isn't enough to spread, there was a war, which is what the girls were talking about. They were talking about the Paraguayan War. There was a war between Paraguay, Uruguay, and Brazil. And when Argentina decided not to grant Paraguay passage, they decided to go to war also with them. Why does that matter for Black people in Argentina? Well, simple, because like one of the girls expressed, the colonial Argentina back then said to the slaves, if you participate in defending Argentina, we will grant you your freedom. So who do you think disproportionately manned the war?
I don't know. You tell
Black
me.
black people in Argentina.
I knew that. Knew that. Yes.
So on top of that, let's face the fact that Argentina has always been a poor country. It's not like a booming economy. They've never been good at managing money. Like never. They've never been good at that. Precisely because of the high European population. Because look at Spain. When has Spain been good at managing money?
I'm sorry. Good at what?
Managing money. Like look at all the stuff
Oh,
they pillaged from us, and they
yeah.
managed
True.
to bankrupt themselves. Like, they've never been good at managing money.
The
So
Europeans are really good at managing money. Look at that wonderful, fine
stop.
infrastructure that they got.
Stop.
Uh huh.
So as if that was enough, like I said, then you fast forward to the cold fever and the cholera times. And during the yellow fever, I'm sorry, and the cholera times, unfortunately, because many Argentinians that were former slaves uh, that survived all of that bullshit live in horrible conditions because there was racism, systematic racism happening, taking place. They were still slaves, right? they live in horrible communities, even when they were free. It's not like they stopped being slaves and be like, oh yeah, join us into riches. No, there was still fucking discrimination going on.
Of
So
course.
yellow fever ran its course through them. But because Argentinians did not classify their black people after they became Argentina as a different race of people, like in the United States, they started mixing. And that's something that I don't know why we have Americans inserting themselves into the conversation. Because to be honest with you,
Yeah.
we, aside from Cuba, right? Cuba had a full-blown segregation. Cuba had full-blown KKK faction. Cuba kept black people from stepping in beaches. It wasn't until 1974 that that ended. Like 100%, like no other Latin country. We're annexing Brazil for a minute, but Hispanic country, let's say that. No other Hispanic country had the same history as the United States. So if I have to explain this to a
Yeah.
gringo, for example, all of the Americas have the same history. We all have to deal with racism. We all have to deal with anti-indigenous,
Yeah.
anti-blackness, anti even our own people.
Yeah, because
So
a lot of people think that racism is exclusively to the United States when it's not.
it's not. It's not. But
It's a
said it.
global it's a global thing. It happens.
It's
It's it's more common than the flu. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
throughout history, those things has happened. Now again with the American lens on, a lot of people think that because of what America did, you know, Jim Crow, um, sundown town laws and
Miscegenation
stuff like that.
laws. Miscegenation laws.
Exactly. So they
Like if
think that
you
some of it also occurred in Latin America, and that's completely wrong. Yeah, there were some situations that maybe look comparable. It could mirror
comparable.
comparable. There you go. Thank you so much. Comparable to that, but in no way, shape, or form has it been like locked down in law. You know what I'm saying? Or practice step by step as it did in here in America.
The way I see it is it's like this. Look, bullshit happen everywhere. If we
Yeah.
all look at our countries, like our countries have a nasty ass history because it was colonized. That has nothing to do with us,
Nobody's
because we
history is
didn't
as perfect.
colonize that.
Yeah, no,
But
nobody's
if I
history
had
is
to
perfect.
explain it, yeah, if I had to explain it in a way, I will have to say that I want to see America, right? The Americas, as like we all have the same history. However, by region, by sector, and by country, the evolution of a post slavery state looks different according to different circumstances and different amount of slavery, right? Because
Yeah.
if you look at the United States and then you look at, let's say, Cuba, for example, it's something I was telling MK the other day. I was like, the countries that receive, and you will find it in every, like if you compare all the history of the different countries, if you compare the countries that received the most African slaves, they had some form of segregation post emancipation. Why? Because you still cannot just transition slaves to then normal society access, because Europeans were never going to allow that. Let's just keep it 100,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So of course, if you look at places that had larger plantations, for example, in Puerto Rico, I'm going to give an example. Before the United States invaded and imposed itself in Puerto Rico around, I want to say, late 1500s, Puerto Rico did not have an active insular Spaniard government like supervising racial relationships, right? And the reason why we didn't have that is because if you look at the three Antilles, like we are the smaller of all the larger Antilles. So
Yeah.
the most profitable and the most desirable of the larger Antilles was Cuba, because Cuba was only 90 miles away from Florida. And it was a larger portion of land. So, of course, it was more reasonable for Spain to take a hold of Cuba more. Therefore, plantation workers were more needed in Cuba, it made more sense to police Cuba even more than it was to police Puerto Rico. So what happened for 200 years is that you had African slaves, the remnant of Tainos, and Spaniards that were there that didn't care or worked there, mixing with one another, because we will see the Spanish Empire will come see Puerto Rico every 11 years. A lot of shit happens in 11 years. Imagine like you see one cop every 11 years. Would you abide by the law?
No, why would I? Exactly.
Like, so to be honest, it's like people just sometimes try to act so obtuse because they can't imagine a reality outside of the one that they had, right? So if you look at countries like the United States, Mexico, Cuba or Brazil that had larger populations of this, even in Colombia, there was some form of, not necessarily the same, but almost the same. They had some form of rejection or straight out segregation of Black people, because they still had to keep economically those slaves from becoming rich and prospering. So there was some form of delineation there, but that did not happen in every Latin country. So what happens when you have that, you have different levels of post-slavery racial relationships. And that's why every country has a different aspect of racism. Like some countries are more advanced, some countries are more like behind. Like the United States is several steps behind. Brazil is several steps behind. There's several countries that are like that. Even
except
Mexico,
Spain. Spain is advanced as hell.
Spain is ahead of all of us.
Of all,
the most important route. You know that.
Exactly.
So a lot of people, when I hear them using the excuse about, Argentina is a racist country. Well, if the metric for Argentina being a racist country is the colonialism that their indigenous people could not stop, then by definition, every country is just as racist. That's the first argument. It was the Black history.
Because a lot of people will point to the whole, after World War II, Argentina accepted the Nazis to come in.
That's another point.
That's
another point. There's another point. People love to talk about the Nazis that Argentina received. And as much as I want to say, yes, they dropped the ball, they received Nazis. Well, guess what? Every country in America received Nazis, and they also received Jews. I just don't understand. Like, if you already, let me ask you something, Rat, and I want you to answer as if you were one of those European Nazis, right? Like, we know what they did after, right? I want you to answer like that. I want you to invoke the inner European in you.
Okay.
Let's say that Nazi Germany fell, the United States conquered all, and there is a remote South America country that has already a large Jewish population established for more than 3 centuries, and a lot of them stem from German descent, right? Because we know that a lot of them were of German descent. What is the perfect spot to hide? Where is it?
I will say a place where the small hats aren't as massive, and there is a German
it is
population.
It's that place because I can impersonate a poor Jewish that was branded and was running from Nazi Germany. Like,
exactly.
That's the perfect space to hide. And let's say
exactly.
that even
just to be very clear, also, some of these other countries that also accepted Nazis, they did accept them, yes, because of their own selfish nationalistic way. They also protected these people. You know what I mean? For example, the United States erased some of these people's backgrounds in order to protect them. And people didn't figure out until some of these files got declassified or whatever the case is. Like, I think there was an operation, something, paper something, but these
I think it's paperclip,
nations,
no?
I think so. Yeah, it's paper something. These nations did go out and recruit scientists, even civilians who were fleeing from Germany because of what German did. And obviously, if your nation did something bad that is viewed worldwide as something impossible, yeah, they're gonna come and take, they're gonna take you in. Thing is, some of these countries protected these people. They erased their background. They let them work
Mhm.
for the use and the benefits of that new nation that is actually, helping you. And I think that's the reason why. The Manhattan Project.
Argentina.
No, I'm
No.
saying the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project actually became a thing because these new scientists that were from Nazi ties help, the Manhattan Project move along and actually become and end the World War II issue. You know what I'm saying? And and all that.
And one other thing I want to add to that, it's like, let's say for example, we know Argentina received, I want to say, I think it was all across the Americas. We only received like 60K scattered across America. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like we receive a million of them. So you already have 47 million people today. Back then you had, I don't know, maybe 23, 27 million. Like, let's say they got 20,000 Nazis. Do you really think that's the majority? Like, I just don't know, like, how people, like, sometimes, like, how they think. But anyway, back to what I was saying. We already know that slavery is universal to all Latinos. We already know that coloniaje is universal to all Latinos. We already know that anti-black workers back then is universal to all Latinos. And we all know that some form of modern post segregation racism is universal to all Latinos. So what makes, and we also know that all Latin countries receive Nazis, not just Argentina. So now going back to the whole football team, right? People have said a lot of comments. I've read so much nonsense. People have said things like, now they are like a Jewish country. They're in bed with Israel. They are pro genocide and so on and so on. And I sometimes it makes me question. I don't know if people are aware, like, who the Nazis were trying to, like, on alive. And like if you can be a Nazi nation and be a pro-Israel Zionist nation, like, I don't understand, like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Like I just, it's like you're gonna have to, like, make up your mind. So one thing I want to talk about is, as Hispanics, like, we need to understand that sometimes people use our history against us, because I've heard from Americans which don't have any moral standing to talk about racism. They can barely manage their country. Like, you guys are killing, like, erasing fucking ethnicities in the Middle East, and you're focused on how Latino racial
It's
interactions are. Like,
ju-
we're the
it's
least of
it's
your
a
problems.
it's a thing that a lot of people like to finger point. Oh, you guys do this, you guys do that. It outside of shaming, it's just a tactic because they don't want the same thing being reversed back to, because anybody could reverse anything back to anybody's country if they know the history of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to do. It's just, the thing is that a lot of people tend to not, like, just get bogged down on the whole I'm gonna say emotional aspect of it, and say
Yeah.
no, but you know what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
just it's just a tactic that some people use, that is like played out and like really ridiculous.
It's like this comment, for example, still
I
tripping
don't
on
even. I can't
how
even read the comments. How do you go?
non-Argentinians.
How do you go to the comments?
You have like a red panel on. Oh, it's on
No,
the
I'm this
StreamYard.
private chat and recording. Oh, I see the.
You
Okay, I
don't
see
see
comments.
comments?
Yeah, I
Okay.
see
He
comments. It says
says,
private
still
chat
tripping.
comments.
I just saw now. He says, still tripping on how non-Argentinians are disinvested in whitewashing their history. My Mexican homie could care less. Look, I'm gonna say something. When I said things about like how Americans are weaponizing our history against us, is mejorar la raza, even though for the Spaniards meant that they were going to breed out black people, for us it meant better racial relationships,
Yeah,
because
it was a very different concept.
like you can base your judgment of a country on the government. You have to base it but based on how the people experience the country. Like if our country, like if you look at the United States, for example, and you even look at Brazil, for example, you see even Cubans and you analyze how they relate to their flag and to their country. Do they feel pride in their country? Do they feel accepted? Do they feel included?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They feel
Mhm.
disenfranchised completely.
But
We don't
also
feel that way.
yeah, but also for the most part, there's some people that do want to erase their or better their own lineage while getting lighter. You know what I'm saying? Because there are comments and people out there in Latin America that say, "Yo, you know, I'd rather have a kid with nice hair and not a big nose." You know, things like that. So they outside of having better race relations, that is also a thing that does occur and is being said. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to get confused. Like, wait, I've heard. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Denise, but also in the same time, like we have to like also say these type of things because these type of things do exist. You know?
They do exist, right? But to be honest with you, it's like I see today, like you see here in the United States, like you see a lot of black people from America marrying into whiteness. Do you
Yeah.
really think that they're not thinking about that?
Oh no, of course. Yeah.
That's
No, I
what
do
that's
think.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
like at
yeah.
a certain degree.
That's the reason why you mostly see a lot of, for the most part, you see a lot of dark skinned men get with light skinned women. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason
That's what
for
I'm
that.
saying. It's
Yeah, no,
like
there's a reason for that.
don't tell me that colorism is not something that like Americans
Y-
did not like
Just like
participated in.
look, the Blue Vein Society, exactly, the paperback test. Yeah, the even in Black American society, they put these tests or these little restrictions within their own little subgroups in order to join. They didn't.
Exactly.
White people didn't invent that. It was black people that invented that. You know what
But
I'm
not
saying? You
only
got to be
that,
lighter than a paper bag and all this other stuff just to join into something that's exclusively for a certain. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's it's really interesting.
One thing that I for sure like I see a lot like in going back to like the racial relations, it's like a lot of people focuses on the mental gymnastics around how that is something that should be offended. No, you shouldn't. It shouldn't be something that offense should not take precedent over the overall relationships of a country. And I'm going to explain what I mean by
That's
that.
true.
I'm not saying colorism is not harmful. That's not what I'm saying. So get that out of the way. What I'm saying is, if you look at any country outside the Americas, right? Like if you look at their society tends to look very homogeneous. And
Hmm.
that is the reason why that country, like their issues, their social issues, their political issues, their economic issues, get solved within a very small time frame because there's
Yeah.
no racial relations to worry about. So human nature tells you that if you leave people to their own devices and delete the retarded, I call it the American retardation race thing because there's the one still
Hmm.
pushing that. if you let go of the retardation that is race, because that's a concept that science has already said it doesn't exist. If you let go of that, people will just mix,
Yeah,
because
it's a natural
dividing
thing.
based, like dividing people based on skin tone never worked. It's never beneficial for nobody. People are better divided by class, which is something that
Yeah,
happens in Latin America. It's a bigger problem in Latin America, class,
yeah.
because class has a more tangible
Even
uh,
even here,
set of norms.
yeah,
Yeah,
even
I'm
even
like,
even here, you have middle class people that don't like to be around their same racial group who are poor. I've
yeah,
heard I've heard black people talk about yeah, I don't want to go to a Caribbean cruise line because the other blacks are gonna be there. And this is coming from a black person. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So I totally understand that. I totally understand that. And the thing is that it right now, especially at this time, nobody's 100% pure whatever they think they are. Everybody's mixed. Everybody,
100%.
regardless of how people may think of DNA tests or some conspiracy theories, that's that's besides the point. If you take one, you're not going to come out 100% of what you are or what you think you are. You're going to come out different, you know. Just because
Yeah,
we're
and
going based on skin tone and all this other stuff, it's kind of ridiculous.
that's retarded. And that's what I mean by like even if you take, we've had extensive relationships and conversations with the mixed Americans, right? To understand that they've said many times that, you know, I think it was Georgia. I'm it's a planet, he's not here, but I think it was him. If it was not him, it was Anthony, that showed in one of the streams that they did with you how after biracial marriage was approved, was something that happened. By the way, that happened thanks to Hispanics.
Yeah,
Okay, it wasn't because of a white man. The first one was a Latina that wanted to marry a black guy, because again, that's a normal thing between
yeah,
us. So once that happened, the biracial amount of people, like the existence of the mulatto, increased. And it shows that ever since that happened, every year you get more and more and more mulattoes, which will tell you that eventually everybody's going to look Puerto Rican. Everybody's going to look mixed. Like if you give the United States 150 more years, do you really think we're gonna have a large population of black people or white people? I don't think so.
no, there's not. It's going. Everybody's going to be mixed.
Everybody's gonna look like me, like
Everybody's going to be
you.
mixed. The only thing that might divide them is their economic situations.
Class, class.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
that's
class
the only
issue,
thing
and
that might divide uh, those group of people. You're still going to have the same situations that occur, people killing other people due to proximity. You're going to have the same thing, poor people trying to look rich and rich people looking poor. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're going to still have the same thing.
yeah,
Nothing like that is
100%.
going to change. The only thing that's going to change is the bi-mixture, or how a certain demographic of people are going to start looking.
Yeah, that's why you have more and more black people and mixed people like divorcing away from black topics, you know. So if we know that that's what happened in countries that didn't have segregation, we can conclude that the only thing we can accuse Argentinians of so far is of not having Jim Crow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
or
Like they didn't have Jim Crow.
sundown laws, or
What a horrible thing to not have. Radical. How could they miss that? Do they have
yeah.
anything?
I
How
guess
come
they
they
didn't
didn't
learn from the
have Jim
Nazis.
Crow? Like, how dare they?
Like,
Jim Crow was so nice to have.
mind you, the Nazis learned certain concentration camp tactics based on what was happening during the gasoline baths in the border of Texas with Latinos. So they went
100%.
down and they figured out what the United States was doing racially to the Latinos, and they implemented that in those concentration camps. And I'm not gonna get into this. I'm not gonna get into this diatribe of if the concentration camps didn't happen. I don't even care about that. The point is, that's where they learned it from. And you're telling me a country that's gonna accept them and now is being labeled a certain way, wasn't
That's what I'm saying.
didn't just adopt their ideology? Come on now, let's keep it real.
And let's move to the other variant, right? Like we're talking about, Milei said, because if we fast forward to modern times, people are saying in the comments, Milei said, which is Argentinians' far-right president, like he is, Argentinians used to vote lefty, liberal. It became a super extreme liberal country, a Nazi liberal country.
Yeah.
So it became so liberal that people decided to give this right winger a chance. And this guy said I think he's like the most Zionist president, he said, something like that. Like he was the most Zionist president. So a lot of people were saying that Argentina has their hands full with blood because they're in bed with like Jewish people and so on and so on. And I was like,
wasn't there a Latin American country that banned racism or something like that, or made it illegal to be racist or something like that? I forgot the country's name.
I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. But
I've heard something about it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. My point is if Latinos or we have this mejorando la raza type of mentality, it was so prevalent, black Latinos wouldn't exist. We have to keep it real. Like if that was such a prevalent thing and supposedly our culture, because this is what you hear that mejorando la raza is part of all that in America's culture. It's part of their culture. That means we have to practice it. And based on practicing that, let's use the most ridiculous way of understanding that is by, let's just practice, murdering a whole group of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the case, then black Latinos would not be existing or wouldn't be mixing within the lighter population. Like it just doesn't make sense.
But this is the thing. It's like when we talk about mejorar la raza, right? Are we talking about, because this is the problem that I have with the American parts, which I still don't understand how, like, Argentina is their top priority issue. But anyway, mejorando la raza involves two consenting adults marrying within races. So do you hear that somebody's getting great in this equation? Because I don't. Like I see it's a black consenting adult with a non-black consenting adult. They get together, they marry, whatever. As a matter of fact, in America, you have a bunch of black people that voice out their grievances when they go and try to marry non-black people, right? And they experience rejection from the family, and they don't want, I don't want you to date a black person. Do they not express that grievance?
They do.
So if they were to be accepted, and of course they're gonna have a biracial baby, that's a problem too.
It was for Spain. I'm just playing. No.
Okay, so what is the way to address it? Like, do you want to date whoever you want to date, or you just want to date whoever you're assigned to date and still be mad? Like, what is it?
It doesn't add up. It just doesn't
like
make sense.
It doesn't make fucking sense. So mejorando la raza, it meant to Spaniard colonial Spanish countries. It meant something to them, but it meant something completely different to the actual Hispanic, right? Like, for example, my parents are of different races, and I came out like this, right?
Yeah, mine's too.
So
I think you see my dad. So
yeah. So I'm like, I don't think, like, I remember how my mom used to talk about how my dad was. She used to talk about his qualities, not his race, and vice versa. So, like, that's not a thing that I grew up experiencing or even hearing.
Yeah.
So, moving now to like the other side of the discussion, which is the whole we're in bed, like Argentina is in bed with the Jewish community. Look, it's everywhere. Okay. We have,
At this point,
that's
at this point,
no, but
really?
this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay. You want to talk about Milei, but they want to talk about Milei, but Claudia Sheinbaum from Mexico, what is her descent?
What is her what?
What's her ethnicity?
A woman. No, I'm playing. No, no,
Aryan.
no.
Her ethnicity is also Jewish. So
Yeah.
you voted, you criticize Judaism and Zionism in Argentina, but then you voted your president that you voted in. You selected this person. Milei doesn't have no Jewish nothing. This person that you voted for is of Jewish descent. Make it make sense. So it changes by like alturas, like if it's in Mexico, it matter, but then if it's in Argentina, matters. Then
Yeah, it just
El
doesn't make sense.
Salvador, yeah, in El Salvador, Bukele is married to who? His wife is what? Jewish.
Um,
Oh,
Jewish?
but
Oh,
then we want to, yeah. So
is
we
that the
want to
answer?
pretend that's not, yeah. So I'm like, if you look, even in Puerto Rico, we have Tomas Rivera Chats. And I'm gonna find you a picture so you guys can see who the fuck I'm talking about. Because like this is one of the most like important political figures in Puerto Rico that has ruled over Puerto Rico for a very fucking long time. And this is who he is. Okay, he is of German descent, and of course, we know not the Nazi area, even if he looks like that, right? Like it, not the Nazi community. That's him.
Uh-huh.
So, like, when we talk about, oh, Jews are here, Jews are there, Jews are everywhere. Like, this is not like okay.
But
So, what are we
and
supposed to do?
I never understood the whole Jewish how can I say the whole Jewish thing about they're not listen, to me, I don't see Jewish people as a ethnicity. I see them as a religion. Um at the end of the day, they could be any race. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh there there's bro, there that's a religious thing. I don't like I hate the fact that certain people don't acknowledge that and they say that oh they're an ethnic group. No, they're not. They're it's a religious practice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's but people have made it into an ethnicity when in reality they're just white. Thank you,
Yeah,
Morena. When she said it, she's like, no, they
exactly.
identify as white. Yeah, like so at the end of the day, I'm like, so we know that our countries, even through liberation, our countries don't belong to us. That's one thing we can all agree as Hispanics, right? Like our countries really don't belong to none of us.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
So
Spanish. Spain belongs to me. I
I really don't
know.
think I want to get into details, but I think Spain never left. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like you
Eh,
know. If you don't, then keep living. But Spain never left. Now, I want to say that now going back to football, right? We're in the World Cup. Argentina was not hated 4 years ago, and is being hated now after they became the champions in Qatar, right? And I find that things I find funny that I've heard from our Mexican community. And believe me, I have Mexican friends that I love like family, which is very hard to find a Mexican I'm compatible with because like majority of them in my experience, without the ones that I personally know and get along with, are racist towards me. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, they're very friendly. They took me. No, they did not. And they still, when they hear me talking in Spanish, they assume I'm just a black person from America that learned very good Spanish. And I had to make the clarification. So, like,
wait, how do
that
you greet them?
No, I just let them talk first because I've had experiences in which they've talked shit about me, and I just let them
I'll be
talk
like,
shit. And
you
then
should be like, no
after that,
mames way, and then that's it. They'll know.
no, I don't. I let
think
them
they'll
talk
know.
shit. I let them talk shit, and then after they talk shit, then I respond in Spanish.
Okay.
I pretend I don't know what they're saying, like I'm gringa, and then I do that.
Okay,
So,
I see what you mean.
They get embarrassed. They get the amount of Mexican Central Americans that I've embarrassed once I open my mouth is hilarious.
It's so weird because I've been to California maybe I'm gonna say 4 times, and I've only experienced the distaste, the dislike from Mexicans when I go to the West Coast. Here in the East Coast, I've never experienced none of that. And I know exactly
all you have to do.
I know exactly what you mean because I felt the same disdain when I went to the West Coast. And it's really weird because it's very like in your face. You know what I'm saying? It's like in your face, and like they don't hide it. You know what I'm saying? They don't hide it at all. So I'm like, I just was taken back because I'm not saying that I'm trying to look for Mexican approval or anything. It's just that, Mexicans are Mexicans to me. I'm not seeing them as any different, but you can see the fine line. Like when I'm here and then when I go out there, it's like a different mentality. I have no idea why though.
But you know what, right? At least you have the complexion for the collection. Look, if you were a little bit darker or have texture hair, it would be crazy. I went down the rabbit hole.
Let me stay in the sun for 2. Let me just stay in the sun for 2 hours, and maybe I'll come with a different experience.
You should. You definitely should. I went to the Inegi, right? And I decided to look into that because I don't wanna misrepresent them, right? Out of respect for their community, I said I want to go to their own database, right? So the Inegi basically documents the discrimination taking place in Mexico. As you can say, this is saying discrimination in Mexico. And of course, you're going to have the most important one being women, right? It's basically what's going on. And the last, like the purple one, shows you 2022 versus 2027, right? So it tells you here the prevalence of the discrimination in the population of 18 or more years in the last year, divided by gender, right? And it doesn't tell you exactly what is the reason.
No, I know. I seen this before. Hold on. So on the go back down to the bar graph.
Okay.
All right. So in 2017, as we can see, 2.1% of women, 20% of women were told to go to the kitchen, right? And in 2022, it went up to 24.5. I'm just like, no, go ahead. I'm
sorry. Shut up, bro. You may win my time. Stupid. Okay, so here is where I want to go. So since that doesn't tell us, well, is it this one? Let me see. No, this is not the one. Hold on. Differences by gender.
It even goes by gender?
I think it's.
I mean, not gender.
Yeah, it goes.
Race.
It goes by race. I'm trying to see which one it is. You see that they have also social class too, which is like crazy.
Wow.
And I'm like, people just don't fucking know. This is actual Mexico. The government of Mexico does this. Like based on the percentage of claims presented, like they do this. The Inegi is like an organization that documents these things.
Okay.
Now, if you look at here, it says percentage of the population that's 18 years old or older that was discriminated in the last 12 months, and you go to skin tone, you have 13%. Like in 2017, it was 13.1, and it never changed in 2022. So when they talk about the racial relationships getting better, I wonder how, because we know in 2021, AMLO apologized to the indigenous people, not the blacks.
Yeah.
To the indigenous people in Mexico. He apologized for, it's here. There we go. Discrimination for skin tone. He apologized to the indigenous people for what they went through, for the 200 years of oppression. So here we go. It says in 2022, skin tone, the most common skin tones with what is self-recognized in the population was the following. Like F, I don't know what F represents. Anyway.
Maybe if you go down,
As
it'll
you
tell
can
you what the skin
see-
tone is. Like, wait, go all the way down because it's.
This is
there
F.
it goes.
This is
There it
F.
goes.
So it's like a little bit darker.
What the wait?
And
Hold on.
then-
K is pink as hell. Is that pink or white?
K is basically Casper. So we want to see F anyway from A to F, right? So we're going to go see A, which it makes sense, obviously, because there's not a lot of pure race Black Mexicans.
Yeah.
And then it keeps increasing. And then it goes to
Damn,
F, which
look
is
at F.
still considered Black. Look at F, how it gets, which is the total. This is women and then males.
See, men got it worse.
And
you see that?
You see that as it gets lighter, they face less and less discrimination.
That's
and
right.
K, which is very
shout out
white,
to my K people. That's right. Shout out to my K people.
So I'm like, this is what you guys are reporting. So if you are brown, which is basically a regular dark skin or medium skin person,
even
G, I'm H to them, and I will still face 21% of them said that they face racial discrimination based on their skin tone. So that's me.
I'm I or J.
I think you'll find you're I. I think you'll be here.
I?
So you'll be only 6.3%. That's why you didn't face a lot of discrimination.
Exactly.
Yes,
not a lot. Not a lot. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I only got 6.3% of the discrimination. That's what's up.
So only 6.3% of you can get upset.
Exactly. Now I can make a podcast and talk about it.
That's like a nail. That's like a nail, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. Wait, hold on. Wait. Discrimination is discrimination, no matter what form it is.
Believe all skin tones.
Exactly. All skin tones matter.
All skin tones. So it goes to show that despite the.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. I just noticed something.
What?
Why K gotta be all like mad white? KKK, get it? Hey, Stop
it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So as you can see, and this is 2022. We have not received the new data because I think it will be next year. It's every 5 years that they document this data.
So
we'll see if they got any better. But the way they're smacking Argentina, that should be in zero, right? By the way they're saying like they don't have no racism, that's not true. I'm like, the Inegi says the opposite. That's why I commented on my personal Instagram. I was like, look, if you're not indigenous or Black, and you don't experience how disgusting your countries are, like, you can shove off your opinion up your ass. Like, if you have the benefit of looking any lighter than me, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I've heard many comments from them about my hair, about my skin, about my heritage, etc., etc. Oh, you don't look Puerto Rican. How is a Puerto Rican supposed to look?
Arroz con gandules.
Not supposed to have like a plant like here in my forehead.
You gotta be
So
a
like
pot. You gotta be a olla of arroz con gandules, bro.
I'm guessing that's why we wear the flag so much. It's because people just don't get it. But
Yeah.
anyway, all you have to do, if you don't believe me, just look at the racial relationships across coasts. Right? Like we know the East Coast, especially in New York, is predominantly Caribbean Latinos, and the relationships with Black people are completely different. It's like night and day compared to the relationships here with Mexican, Central Americans, and Black people.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I've seen disgusting shit.
Yeah.
Like I see disgusting comments, disgusting discrimination, prejudice, bullshit.
But not only that,
So
some of the actions and speeches.
that's
But
insane.
it comes from both sides, though. You know, some of it is reaction on both sides. But no,
I think
you're
it's
right.
reaction, Matt. I think it's reaction
Yeah.
because if you don't have that in when you go to New York, you don't have that the same thing that you have here. Then who's the common denominator?
Yeah, only 6% though. So, but you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Only 6% of you will
Yeah,
complain.
exactly.
Anyway,
And you
that's
heard
like
that 6%. Yeah.
your big toenail. Yes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
so now we moved that out of the way. We already know that everybody is experiencing some form of racism in our countries, and it's just so weird, that we want to pretend like it's only Argentina, and it pushes me to one question. If we already know that it's not really because it's foreign to you, the concept of racism in your home country as a Hispanic, then why the hate towards Argentina? And that's the answer that I want. And the first thing I gathered was, well, if they're criticizing Argentina, something I've learned from the United States and all the sabotage that they carried out is that when you have a complaint, a public complaint, and there has no demand, there's a protest with no demand, it's a psyop. Like if you don't, and I want people to understand that, like if you have a protest, like the No Kings protest, for example, what is their demand?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, because it's a psyop.
I truly don't know. Whenever I hear somebody, no, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm for real. Like whenever I hear somebody talk about that, they support the No Kings protests or protesters. The question is always asked, what are you supporting? What are they fighting for? And they can't give you a straight up answer.
Yeah,
They just keep on, they just gish gallop. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out what's the whole point of the No Kings protest. And
Yeah,
I still haven't
nothing.
got it.
It's just to get people distracted from, the real problems, because it's kind of like the same thing with, if we were going to say, let me think. Nothing comes to mind. But anyway, when you have a protest that is organized by the people, they have clear grievances and demands.
That's true.
They know exactly what's going on, and they already know, hey, we want this, Yeah. And like, for example, look at BLM. A lot of people, that was a protest, and you know that because how many times you heard no justice, no peace, right?
Yeah.
What they were exactly demanding? Well, accountability from police. It was very clear to know the purpose of the protest.
And free mansions. Can't forget that. That's what they wanted. I'm sorry.
And free food.
Yeah.
So when you look at this whole Argentina rejection and protest to their supposed racism, you gotta look at the actions of the group, and then you first see them like every Hispanic needed to support Mexico. And I'm gonna say something to my Mexican brethren. We love you. You're part of us. You're part of the primos. Yes, you're on the more toxic side. The primos that we go see maybe once every 6 years, like because it's hard sometimes to get you to understand certain things. But some of those primos from that side we see often because they get it. So to be honest, like we're every time there notice this, but I want everybody, Latino or not Latino, the next time there's a Latino winning, I want you to see how if a Puerto Rican is winning, an Ecuadorian is winning, a Brazilian is winning, a Salvadorian is winning, a Dominican is winning, it's going to be called a Latino. Okay? A Latino or a Hispanic is winning. But the minute for a Puerto Rican, a Dominican, a Cuban, a Salvadorian, or a Brazilian does something despicable, is a Dominican, a Cuban, a Brazilian, is not a Latino no more. Okay? So it's kind of like, I need Mexicans to understand, like, it's not that we don't love you. It's like you need to understand that when we win, we want to be divorced as well. Delineation is important. Okay, a Puerto Rican one, like look at the Bad Bunny situation, for example. Bad Bunny won album of the year. That was a Puerto Rican. That was not a Latino. Stop LARPing. Okay. Oh, a Latino hosted the Super Bowl. No, it was a Puerto Rican. Stop LARPing. We love you, but like you need to stop LARPing.
Basically, give credit to where creditors do.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Like,
yeah, I got you.
To be honest with you, it's like when I see a Mexican winning, for example, I think some of the best musicians of all time, the voice of Latin America, I still believe is Cristian Castro. I don't give a fuck what people say. That man is unmatched. Cristian Castro, and I get it, the Mexican song Luis Miguel is just as good. Like both of them are really fucking good. But I see a Mexican. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a Latino. No, that's a Mexican. A Mexican has that incredible fucking voice. That's just what's up. Like, I just don't understand why we can just call things a thing. So now, all Latin America has to support Mexico, which I'm going to do because I'm transnational when it comes to Latinos winning. If it's a Latino,
hold on.
I'm going to support it.
Wait. I got to, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You got it.
Wait a minute now. Hold on. You talk about start LARPing. Mexico.
No, I will LARP the excitement. I will LARP the excitement.
Which one is it? You just gave a whole speech about that's Puerto Rican. And now you're saying, well,
you can celebrate. You can celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate, but I'm gonna say not Viva Latinos. I'm gonna say Viva Mexico. You get my point?
Okay.
Like, I'm not saying don't come to the carne asada. I'm saying come, but understand the carne asada is being hosted in Mexico. You get my point? Like it was Mexico. Mexico did that, and they gave us the best fucking games. Like,
but
we gotta.
Does that mean when the carne asada is being done, are you gonna bring some coquito too?
I could, but that's what's up. It's still Mexican. It's still in Mexico. You get my point?
Well, you're gonna put Tabasco sauce on the coquito and then call it Mexico?
No. If they want to do that, that's okay. But I won't be doing
that.
I won't be joining on that excitement. But to be honest, it's like I said, I'm like let people have their moment. Like it feels kind of weird. It feels kind of like, when you have a friend that's getting married, like, when you're all in your 20s and your friends are all getting married, and like when it's this bitch's turn, she wants everybody to support her.
She makes it about her, and somebody else makes it about them.
When it's your wedding, she shows up dressed in white. That's Mexicans. And I'm gonna need Mexicans to divorce from that sentiment. Like, stop dressing white for somebody else's wedding. Like, it's like, come to the wedding, but like, don't come dressed in white. Let the bride shine. So
and match with the bridesmaids. Everybody has to match. Yeah, I got you.
Merge with the event. So to be honest, like, we celebrated them, and then when they lost, and this is the funniest part. when they lost to England, which was devastating, and I cried for like, I want to say like a good day.
Uh-huh.
When they lost to England, all of a sudden we forgot to cheer for Argentina. We needed to
Mhm.
cheer for Norway. But then I started thinking, well, but Norway is also a Nazi country, because Norway, we know Norway was invaded by successfully by the Nazis, and then many Norwegians joined Nazis. And when it all ended, only, I think out of like 100,000, only 5,000 of them were actually prosecuted. The rest were just living willy nilly. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought we were not supposed to support Nazis, but everybody was like, "Rule, bam bam, rule, bam bam, rule for Norway," and we were supposed to support Norway. That it's, I don't know, it was kind of weird, because I'm like, okay, so like we want to be Latinos and support Latinos and unite us as under one banner, when it's only this group. Because at the same time, let's not forget how they treated Ecuadorians.
That's
Okay, when
right.
they beat
That's
Ecuador,
right.
that's a drama I'm not gonna get into. That's a slippery slope. But to be honest with you, it's getting to a point where it's getting ridiculous. Seeing a Hispanic cheer for anything other than a fellow Hispanic country is cringe, and it should be cringe, and I don't give a fuck. So one thing that I started questioning myself was, okay, so if there's no actual demand from Argentina, there's no agenda on this quote unquote protest that we're seeing to boycott Argentinians team, then it's a psyop. And then I started looking at stuff, and I was like, oh, then maybe is because of the loan that Milei got from the United States. And then I
Ooh.
look into this because I don't know if you guys know, but the United States uh, gave Argentina a loan of $20 billion, because Argentina has been bankrupt for a very long time. And Donald Trump made it possible.
Yeah.
So I asked the American friends here that were saying stuff about how they despise Argentina. Whenever you see a benefit from whenever you see a benefit from your government, right? Now, like the roads get paved, or when
The hell
something
happened?
gets paid, are you gonna ask your government if that came from the revenue that they earn from Argentina and
Uh,
reject it if that's the case, or you're still gonna ask it?
hey Denise, I sent you something real quick.
I'm sorry.
I sent you something on the chat.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Because I'm like, the hypocrisy of, okay, no problem. No problem, right?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
step out, but I'll
No, no.
continue the stream. I'll carry the
Yeah,
stream
yeah, yeah.
and I'll get to my
Carry the stream.
conclusion. Thank you for coming, though.
Sorry, guys. I gotta go. Thank you so much. Have a good one, Denise. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
having me here and
Thank you
stuff.
for showing up.
I'll definitely listen more, but I gotta go. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, no problem. Take care. Bye bye. So my question is, are you gonna ask your government to disclose if the benefit that you're receiving comes from the money that they have profited from in Argentina? Because my issue is Argentina already made a profit for the United States with their money, their loan. So I realized that Argentina already paid off the loan. So I was like, okay, maybe then that's not the reason why we're having this psyop take place. I see that I'll answer questions late. Like keep putting your comments. I will answer like later. what you guys are putting on in the comment section. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. So to be honest, if somebody wants to come in, I'll send you the link. But in the meantime, let me finish this. So my question is, if it wasn't then the loan, then what was it? Something must be going on, because there's no psyops being taking place in a country. There's no psyops taking place in a country if there's a psyop taking place. I'm sorry, in a country if there is a meaningless protest against them, right? And then I came up against this, and I'm gonna read it with you guys. So brace yourself, because we're gonna see the real reason why this is taking place. As Latinos, I'm gonna make a quick assessment, and then I'll come to what I want to show you guys. I'm Puerto Rican, you guys know this, right? And one thing that as Puerto Ricans we experience all the time is dehumanization. And by dehumanization, I mean, like, some of the commentaries and the criticism that we hear often is, oh, but you guys are American citizens. You guys have citizenship. You guys are part of the United States. You guys are lazy. You guys receive federal funds. You guys have it good. And what that does is that on paper, you see the United States as our friend, as our sponsor, as, actually our helper. But we've said several times, no empire, no country takes on a colony if it's not to make a profit out of them. That's just simple math, right? Like, that's just simple math. Like, I want you to name me what country will take on another country as an expense without getting something out of it. Like, there's no way, because even now when you're seeing our politicians condoning the freaking Zionist agenda, they are getting something out of it. They're getting APAC money. So they get an APAC babysitter and they pass legislation to favor them. So we already know that fallacy, that Puerto Ricans get so much wealth, so much money out of the United States, and we have it good because we have citizenship and whatever. Don't freaking understand, because they have, not because they hate us, not because they envy us, but because they have dehumanized successfully the Puerto Rican. And that's what the United States is very good at that. They're very good at placing just enough titles, just enough benefits on paper so that the public, the populace, dehumanizes the person they want to exploit. We've seen it with Blacks, we've seen it with Puerto Ricans, we've seen it with Cubans, we've seen it with a lot of other groups. So they are being dehumanized. So why do I want to talk about that? Well, because we know already that Puerto Rico is so dehumanized to the point that, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've said it several times on this channel, we cannot vote for the people that runs our country. The only person we can vote for is for the oversight board's puppet. I'm going to explain it in 5 minutes. Well, 5 seconds. Well, 30 seconds. The president of the United States, Obama, was the one that started this in 2016. The president of the United States hires several individuals that are from different countries, and those people sit down and they are the ones that decide what our taxes, the local Puerto Rican taxes that Puerto Ricans pay, how those taxes are going to be spent. And because there's a national debt that the US does not allow us to refinance or to file for bankruptcy to restructure the the debt, the national debt, they want us to prioritize paying the debt over feeding and fixing Puerto Rico. As if that isn't enough, we know Typhoon Maria destroyed Puerto Rico. So the oversight board that can only be appointed by the president, a president Puerto Ricans on the island cannot vote for, is the only people that can decide if Puerto Rico can use its taxes to rebuild Puerto Rico. So I don't know why when we say to non-Puerto Ricans, Puerto Rico is under a dictatorship. People don't understand that. And it doesn't matter how you explain it, people don't understand that. If you cannot vote for your leader, how is that called? Because last time I checked, that's called a dictatorship. And Puerto Rico, right now, because of the oversight board, is placed under an austerity measure, which means you pay your taxes and the oversight board gets an amount of taxes and they decide what they're going to pay with it. And they want to pay the stock bonds, not Puerto Rico. They don't want to fix the roads. They don't want to fix the schools. They don't want to fix the healthcare system. They don't want to fix the power grid. They don't want to fix the water. That's why when you see more Puerto Ricans here than you see back at home, when you see even ones at home that got their pension snatched to pay the national debt, because that's what the oversight board did, many elder Puerto Ricans are dying on the job, like my mom did, sadly, because they have no retirement. The retirement that they paid their whole lives got snatched by the oversight board. So I'm saying all of this just so that people can understand what's going on in Puerto Rico and how dehumanized the Puerto Rican community is, to the point that people think that we're having this gorgeous island in the tropics, having a good time, and loving how our life is. It's almost as if they did not listen to Lo que pasó in Hawaii, which is basically, I don't want them to do to you what happened to Hawaii, which is gentrification, right? Which is the last step of un Puerto Rico sin puertorriqueños. Un Puerto Rico sin puertorriqueños is the narrative or the movement that we all grew up in. Our parents used to tell us that that was the agenda that the United States had of a Puerto Rico without Puerto Ricans, and they were going to try to flush us out. And they managed to just do that. And the first step towards doing that was eliminated in 936, which I'll explain on another stream. So, and for the people that don't understand this, you will understand it very soon, because the oversight board is being tested in Puerto Rico, but it's about to land in Illinois and Nebraska. So when you see it happen, you heard it first here, but it was tested on my people. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So we already know how the Latin community is highly susceptible to dehumanization, because we've seen how they did it to Cubans, they do it to Puerto Ricans, they do it to Black people in America. So I suspect that the same thing is happening in Argentina. And the reason why I had to explain all of that is because we first had to dehumanize the Argentinian in order for us to gentrify Argentina. Because as we speak, I want you to understand that in Argentina, the most beautiful untouched lands and the air and the earth and all of its resources is now, thanks to Milei, its president, in bed with trompetas, the Donald Trump Cheeto president. They have an agenda to get foreigners to purchase Argentina. So while you, me, and everybody else is hating Argentina, dehumanizing them as Nazis, we are following the agenda exactly how they want us to, and hate them enough to not care about what they're going through. So I'm going to read this to you, because this was just signed last year, but it's taking effect now. So it says, in Milei, Argentina, indigenous rights are rolled back for profits. And it says, Jorge Millán's home in the small town of Maitén in Argentina, Patagonia, was raided in February this year. It was total madness, say Millán, who belongs to the indigenous Mapuche community and worked at the local radio station. La Radio Comunitaria Mapuche Petu Mogelin. I know I'm botching that. His home was invaded by Argentine military border police officers who Millán recalled told him that they were looking for Molotov bombs or anything that will start or accelerate a fire. Now, what it recounts basically is Millán's house wasn't the only one raided, it was one of many carried out in towns across the Chubut province located in Patagonia, targeting many Mapuche, the biggest indigenous population in Argentina, where disastrous forest fires level over 50,000 hectares of land, which is 123,000 acres, to give some perspective. Now, you might want to ask yourself why this is taking place. Well, it's taking place because as you guys know, in South America, we have like literally the Amazonians. They have better quality of air, better quality of water, and they have a lot of untouched land. Plus, they have lithium, which is no surprise. I'm gonna tag this news alongside with many others so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But basically, what's happening, which is something that also happened in Brazil, is that the indigenous people that do not leave, or even the adjacent Argentinians, despite of their race, that do not want to leave these areas that are more rural or whatever, they're gonna get displaced by fire. So basically, plans of a large-scale multi-million-dollar industry and mining developments are underway in Rio Negro and Chubut provinces as Milei pushes his goals to create an ultra-open market economy in Argentina, which has suffered from the world's second worst inflation, going from peak 300% in early 2024 to a current 62% after Venezuela. The British-based Rio Tinto company, which is the UK, basically, well, England, it's set to invest, and we already know what this is. If you're Puerto Rican, you know what investment means because you lived it. In a new lithium mine in Salta, Argentina state oil firm invested $3 billion in a pipeline from the Vaca Muerta formation in northern Patagonia to a new export terminal Rio Negro, Patagonia Gold, announced investments to advance gold and silver extraction in Chubut and Rio Negro. And Pan America Energy, PAE, is set to explore unconventional gas reserves in the hydrocarbon-rich San Jorge Basin in Chubut. These are only just a few examples of the many recent investments under Milei. Like I said, I'm going to tag this study for you guys, this report under this stream, so you guys can read it for yourself. So after everything we've seen, and we have answered almost every question regarding Argentina's hate, I want to know your answer, like your questions even. Do you think that Argentina is the most racist country in the world? Do you think that Argentina is receiving hate that they deserve? Do you think, now that you know the truth, do you think that this is a plot to get us to abandon Argentinians when they need us the most? If you agree, disagree, you have a new, I don't know, point of view, then let us know. Because last time I checked, like I said before, this is the same issue that's happening in Puerto Rico. And not only Puerto Rico, because last time I remember, we know already that Salvador became a very progressive country, very safe country, which I'm not criticizing necessarily Bukele's measurements. Measures, I'm sorry. I'm not criticizing his measures because I agree that, we have to put a stop to crime, and it's not going to look pretty because it's not going to be solved under a cup of tea. But I think that him becoming a nation known for harboring the America's rejects is not something that I saw on my bingo card. And the same applies for Argentina. So you guys let me know, what do you think now? that we have successfully dehumanized our brothers and sisters in Argentina that not only have endured massive starvation, massive poverty, because inflation, if you think your inflation is bad, their inflation is even worse. To the point that we, the broke America, that you guys know how your grocery run is right now. Your weekly grocery run. I swear to God, if I could eat insects, I would be eating cricket right now. I would be eating. There was a wasp the other day that I was like, if I could, I will eat you, because groceries are expensive. Groceries are expensive. So if you think our inflation is really bad and our country is doing really bad, and our country that's broke as fuck have to lend them money, think about how they're doing. And the country is being taken from them. Quieren quitarme el río y también la playa. Anyway, I'm not gonna continue because I don't want it to be demonetized. But that's what's going on. Morena says, I never really thought of it personally, and I have known a couple of Italian descent and didn't get that they were racist, but like any other Latin American country, very nationalistic. Yeah, I think, you know what? It's the thing. It's like, I believe that there is racism in Argentina. I believe that. There has to be. I mean, look at the history. There has to be. If there's racism in our countries, there's for sure, we have the same history as them. There has to be some racism. Do I think they're the most racist country? The most racist country? No. Now, I'm gonna go through some of these comments. If some of you guys want to come up, I'm gonna put in briefly. I want to say 20 minutes. Right now, the stream is sitting at 141 minutes. So we're gonna do 20 minutes. If you guys wanna like come up, you're welcome to do so. I'll put the link in the chat. Just know if you're new here, I'm gonna have to see your face. If not, if you're like an old timer, I already know you. I see a lot of contempt. Okay, I see this comment says, the rest of the entire continent has mixed and negroid looking people. Hell, Bolivia has had black players on their national team, but Argentina, stop it. Well, we already heard from Argentinians themselves, and I don't think you should argue with them because that's not our country. But they already said that Paredes is of black descent. Also, Maradona was of black descent. So I don't know why you want to argue it. I hear Echo say, close your YouTube. Close your YouTube. If you're listening to me on another device, or if you have another window, close that YouTube window, and then unmute yourself, so I can see if you still have the echo. But yeah, like, and another thing that I want people to understand, when you see other countries that are hella European, like France, for example, and you see last names like Mbappe, does that sound to you like those countries had an actual lineage, like French lineage, that resulted in a person's last name being Mbappe? Because last time I checked, I think it's a migrant. And I think that if your country is broke as fuck, nobody wants to migrate to a country that has no opportunities. And that's the problem with Argentina. I still hear the echo, Jose. Do you have me on another device? Huh?
It's just that the way it's just the way it's set up. So basically, it's like I can, when I'm not speaking, I'll just mute myself. I did close the other window.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Now, I want to hear your thoughts about what do you think about like the hate on Argentina? Do you think? Thank you, Morena. Yeah, they're transplants. Those blacks that you see playing for Switzerland are not Swiss blacks. Like, look at this person. Mbappe is not a French surname. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, of course, nobody wants to migrate. Like, it's our Argentinians' fault that no black people want to migrate to their country from Africa? Because I don't think they have the opportunities for them. But if you do, then you migrate. Anyway, Jose, what do you think about the topic at hand?
Well, first of all, long time no see and hear. You've been truly missed, and this is something that's very interesting. Now, as far as Argentina being the most racist country, no. I mean, does racism exist? Unfortunately, in many of the Latin American countries, there are different levels of racism. Because remember, the Spanish did actually brought, you know, people from Africa, and exploited them just like they exploited the so-called indigenous people. So there is racism in Argentina, but to call them the most racist country, that's a bit of a stretch. And to be perfectly honest, until recently, I did not know the situation that's happening over there, and now I will mute myself.
Yeah, it's something that it sometimes when I see these things, I don't know if it's because you have to live through some bullshit with the way the powers that be work in your country and have to deal with how many of the Hispanic community is ignorant to how the powers that be function, that otherwise I wouldn't be able to see what's going on with Argentina. I think any Puerto Rican can see that. I think any Cuban can see that. I think it's just that because I'm not, there's only particular groups that are here, and I think it Mexican and Central Americans. I don't think, I think that there's like their sports rivalry and like the maybe the envy that their team did made it. It's basically what's powering an agenda that they're grabbing por las greñas to make it stick. But I think that it's 2026. Like we should know that things that are when the powers that be tell me to go left, Jose, without question, I go right because I don't think the people at the top cares about our results. Like they don't care about your life or my life or nothing like that. I see that K Max says it should be obvious there are differences between French and African cultures. Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm like when they say, "Oh, there's no black players in Argentina." Well, because nobody's going there. Like nobody is going there. Now, they say nope. I seriously doubt is the average person is thinking that deep. Most people are just living their life. Yeah, 100%. I don't think that people want to really be connected. Like sometimes, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, and I've even thought about opening a Patreon just for members to talk about like my actual thoughts on the systems of the United States. I don't think that people really want to be this plugged in. I don't think people really want to know, which is why I think systems of power are so successful because most people just want to live their lives and let other people run the country. As long as their lives are not affected, I feel like the neutral consensus is that. What do you think, Jose? You're muted.
There's a thing called blissful ignorance, okay? As long as you're ignorant, you don't have to deal with the situations that's happening right now. And because let's keep it real, a lot of the people are not even aware of what's happening here in the United States. And I will say too, there's a lot of people that's ignorant about what's going on in my neck of the woods, which is New York. And I think it's part of it. It's because they don't really want to know. Because if they really want to know, then they really start to think about how bad the situation is. Um, and one thing we have to bear in mind that even though we have common things like a language and a Catholic background, the history when you take a look at the history compared to the Caribbean is quite different compared to what's the difference in Central and South America because there's different situations that are in play. So I think what a lot of people it's just a case of blissful ignorance because that means you don't have to be aware, you don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I like what Morena said here when she said, especially if it can affect the change. Yeah, it's like like if you don't have to actually, like if you don't want to take like any action into like fixing a country, you want to take action into helping a group of people or an ethnic group into like doing something to change their country for the better, if you don't want to really put in the action, like of course you're gonna unplug. Of course you're going to stay as far away as possible. Of course you're going to carry on the torch of the humanization of people. It's kind of like I'm gonna take myself for example, right? Like you guys know, I do think deportations of non-legal migrants are needed, not because I think they're horrible human beings. It's because I think America has not been successful at creating an alternative solution to illegal migration. So, but I don't agree that we should put people in cages. I don't think that we should deport people like they're animals. I think that is despicable and disgusting. You see, so like I can still make an assessment, right? But I cannot erase the human element out of what's going on. And I wish we could find a better solution than to just return these people that are just looking for jobs to their countries because they don't have these opportunities, right? But until that solution exists, the only solution is to send you back home. So I like what Jose said. I mean, Jose, I'm sorry, Jose. Daniel says here, even as acting from Latin American countries, don't know pass for municipality or state or province. Yeah, like even in Puerto Rico, like if you look at certain things, the amount of Puerto Rican diaspora, and I'm going to make a stream very soon that I'm putting together. I think maybe next Sunday I'll do it. I think I'm going to start doing this on Sundays. Um, because it works better for me. I'm a mom, you guys know. I have a 3-year-old dinosaur. So yeah, like if you look at like our people and how many people are still voting for the same people that are selling us for parts, the same people that devalue our island in order to do that just for profit for themselves. Like they got like a kickback for selling us out. And people still don't understand what got us to this place. It's kind of crazy and it can get messy to try to explain that to them. Now I see that K-Max says the illegal migration serves a purpose according to the United Nations who is behind it. Yeah, it serves a purpose of slavery. It's like modern day slavery. Like I own you and I can do with you whatever I want because you have no papers, you have no rights, and that is disgusting. So that's the purpose that it serves. Like there's no other purpose. You wanted to say something, Jose?
Yeah, when it comes to dealing with the illegal situation, what people don't understand is that each country has the right to govern who enters the country and under what conditions. Unlike some of these people, I actually visited other countries. Okay, I visited Dominican Republic, I visited Mexico, I visited Panama, I visited Colombia, and Canada. Okay, each time that I visited these countries, I had to go through a process. Okay, I couldn't just hop on a plane and just go, I'm here. I mean, I had to like present my credentials, which is a passport and in some cases a visa. Then I had to declare what am I doing in the country and how long I'm going to be there. And I also have to indicate where I'm going to stay because they don't want to have to deal with someone that's going to come in illegally and live and take up their resources. So if those countries can do all that just to make sure that little, well, not little, but me, not sneak in and try to take advantage of the situation, then what's the big deal with the United States trying to deal with its situation regarding its it's an undocumented population. And the fact of the matter, no one has really addressed it for a long time. And until it is addressed seriously, this problem will never go away.
100%. I want to address what very quickly. What came said, he said the United Nations wants to tear down all borders, eliminate all nations sovereignty. Yeah, that's globalization. We already know that with globalization, even though it can be good on certain aspects, it will erase, you know, the prioritization of ethnic groups' needs, because it will always prioritize one over the others. So, you know, ethically, I don't agree. Like anthropology studies have been done about globalization. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, going back to the Argentina thing, I'm gonna conclude that there is something dark going on with Argentina. I've noticed that, and I want, if Latin explainers, you guys are known for like keeping your eyes peeled to the agenda behind what they really want to present you, right? Like what's behind the screen. And every time that you see that they're giving a lot of hype to something, they're taking a lot. They're taking a lot from that group. We saw it with Hawaii. The American dream in the past used to, uh, the American dream used to be that you would go on a vacation to Hawaii with your family. And you know, Hawaii was a paradise and it was so good. And you will praise Hawaiians, and aloha was something that was known. And little did we know what was happening with poor Hawaiians, because we didn't have the mainstream internet we have today. And when people start saying, "Oh, this is Puerto Rico's year. This is Puerto Rico's year. This is Puerto Rico's year. Look at us. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We're everywhere." I know why we're everywhere, because we're not home. We don't own our home. We don't own our island no more like that. Our home is under siege. We're under dictatorship. We're being starved. Now, Argentina is in everyone's mouth, but it's not because of what Argentinians are going through. So it pains me to say that, as Latinos, in conclusion, hold on, I'm gonna put you backstage, okay? In conclusion, I want to say that it pains me to see that as Hispanics, um, we're following agendas that are not necessarily help our people, and are succumbing to dangerous movements. Like one of them is like anything that puts you in a position to hate someone from your ethnic group, which is Hispanics. Um, it's not good for the collective. It's just not good. Like I don't care. It's like I said. I'm like, yes, we're having this issue because the majority Mexican and Central Americans decided to just jump on the bandwagon of American propaganda and start like hating on Argentinians. And even though they did that, they're still los primos. We're still gonna support Mexicans and Central Americans. We still love them. They're still our people. If they go through some stuff, we're gonna be there. Period. Why? Because they're in the group, and that's always the sentiment. And I want you guys to understand, like anything that drives you away from that sentiment, you should reject it. There's no there's no family that's 100% perfect. You don't see Caucasians have been successful at colonization, because even in their differences, even when they go to war, at some point other Caucasians bring them together, and Caucasians sign peace treaties. We need to do the same. And until we do that, until we learn and stop being pawns, we're going to be victims of whatever they want us to be victims of. And I hope that at least you've taken that with you today, and learn that when you see mainstream stuff, research it for yourself without bias, and don't let narratives that you don't know, because you don't know, take a hold of your good reason. With that being said, that's everything I have for you today. Like I said, if you have any comments, if you have any friends you want to show the stream to, that they can give me their opinions, I want to read about what you think. Leave me comments, leave me questions. Go to my social media, shoot me a message, whatever you want to do. engage with this and spread the voice around, because this is getting ridiculous. So that has been all, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.